Thomas sat in the dimly lit, cramped control room of the spaceship, surrounded by the soft glow of instrument panels and the steady hum of machinery. He sipped his cold coffee, his eyes fixed on the view screen as the stars streaked by like diamonds on velvet. "Captain, I'm reading an anomaly in Sector 479G. The ship's computer, an androgynous voice, interrupted the silence. Thomas's gaze narrowed. "Put it on screen." The view screen flickered, and a swirl of colors resolved into a hazy, pulsing shape. It looked like a cross between a nebula and a rainbow-hued egg. "That's not on the charts," Thomas muttered, his fingers drumming against the armrest. "Get me more data." "Working, Captain," the computer replied, and a stream of figures began to unroll on a nearby screen. Thomas's eyes scanned the data, his mind working overtime to comprehend the implications. Suddenly, the ship lurched, throwing Thomas against his restraints. Alarms blared, and the view screen dissolved into static. "What's happening?" Thomas yelled, his heart racing. "Incoming energy wave," the computer replied, its voice unflappable. "Unknown origin. Deflectors are compensating." But the ship shuddered again, and Thomas felt himself floating. He cursed as the gravity generators faltered. "Get us out of here now," the computer's calm voice responded. "Engaging emergency warp. Captain, coordinates plotted for nearest stable wormhole." Thomas's stomach dropped as the ship's gravity stabilizers struggled to compensate for the intense turbulence. His coffee cup, forgotten on the console, floated free, its contents splashing against the bulkhead. The view screen flickered, and an instant later, the ship was hurtling through a swirling tunnel of colors, the wormhole's gravity well warping space-time around them. Clearing the anomaly's influence, the computer reported, its tone steady despite the chaos. Thomas breathed a sigh of relief as the ship stabilized, the gravity returning to normal. He scrubbed a hand over his face, his pulse still racing. "Plot a course for the nearest repair facility," he ordered, trying to shake off the lingering unease. "I want to know what we just stumbled into." "Aye, Captain," the computer replied. "Course plotted. Estimated arrival time, 3.2 hours. Thomas leaned back in his chair, eyes fixed on the view screen, his mind replaying the encounter with the mysterious anomaly. Something was off, and he couldn't shake the feeling that their troubles were far from over. "Captain?" the computer interrupted, its tone tinged with a hint of uncertainty. "I've detected an unusual energy signature on our tail. It's faint, but it's definitely following us." Thomas gut tightened. "Raise our shields and go to condition yellow. Get me more data on that signature pronto." Thomas's fingers drummed against the armrest as he waited for the computer to process the new data. The ship's instruments beeped and hummed around him, their normally soothing sounds now grating on his nerves. "Captain, I've isolated the energy signature," the computer announced, its voice steady. "It's a low-level resonance, but it's definitely tracking us. I'm reading a faint FTL ripple in its wake." Thomas's eyes narrowed. "Someone's using an FTL beacon to tail us. Get me a lock on the source." The computer's response was prompt. "Source identified, Captain. It's a small, unregistered vessel, approximately 10,000 kilometers off our port bow. I'm trying to hail them, but they're not responding." Thomas's grip on the armrest tightened. This was getting weirder by the minute. "Keep trying to hail them and raise our shields to maximum. I don't like the smell of this." The ship's alarm system, silent for a moment, stuttered back to life as the computer announced, "Captain, the unknown vessel is changing course. They're closing in on our position." Thomas's heart kicked into high gear as he watched the view screen, his eyes locked on the approaching ship. "Arm our point defense lasers," and a blinding flash filled the view screen, and the ship lurched, throwing Thomas against his restraints. Alarms blared, and the computer's voice was lost in the din of warning klaxons. When the light faded, Thomas stared at the view screen in disbelief. The unknown ship had vanished, replaced by an impossible sight. A shimmering portal, its event horizon swirling like a tunnel to the very fabric of reality. What in? Thomas breathed, his mind reeling. The computer's voice, when it spoke, was laced with a hint of wonder. Captain, I'm reading stable wormhole signatures from the portal. It's an artificial construct, but I've never seen anything like it. Thomas's gaze was fixed on the portal, his heart pounding in his chest. We're going in, he decided, his voice firm. Plot a course, and let's see where this rabbit hole takes us. The ship trembled as it approached the portal, its gravity waves causing the instruments to fluctuate wildly. Thomas's knuckles were white as he gripped the armrests, his eyes fixed on the swirling vortex ahead. Stabilizers online, Captain, the computer reported, its voice steady despite the ship's protesting creaks and groans. Thomas nodded, his jaw clenched. Take us in, slow and steady. The ship eased forward, its hull shuddering as it crossed the event horizon. The view screen flared, and Thomas felt a strange, disorienting sensation, as if his very sense of self was being unraveled and reknit. When the light faded, Thomas blinked, his eyes adjusting to the new surroundings. The ship floated in a vast, starry expanse, surrounded by things, structures, perhaps, or entities, their shapes impossible to discern. They pulsed with a soft, ethereal light, as if they were alive. Where are we? Thomas whispered, awed. The computer's response was measured. Unknown region of space, Captain. I'm attempting to chart our position, but the readings are inconsistent. Thomas's gaze roamed the view screen, drinking in the alien sights. Inconsistent? He echoed, a slow grin spreading across his face. I think we're in way over our heads, computer. As if in response, one of the nearby structures shifted, its pulsing lights taking on a rhythmic pattern. Thomas's eyes locked onto the sequence, a shiver running down his spine. Captain, the computer warned, I'm reading an energy buildup in the structure. I don't think we should. The warning was too late. A blinding flash enveloped the ship, and Thomas's world went white. When his vision cleared, Thomas found himself standing on a featureless, crystalline plain. The sky above was a deep, electric blue, and the air hummed with an otherworldly energy. A figure approached him, its form shifting, flowing like a liquid. Welcome, Captain, it said, its voice like music. We've been waiting for you. Thomas's hand instinctively went to his hip, where his sidearm would normally be, but it was gone, left behind on the ship. He felt a shiver run down his spine as the figure drew closer, its features still shifting, like a reflection on rippling water. Waiting for me? Thomas repeated, trying to keep his voice steady. Who are you? What is this place? The figure halted before him, its form stabilizing into a humanoid shape, with skin like polished silver and eyes that burned like tiny stars. I am the Guardian, it said, its voice like a gentle breeze. And this is the Nexus, a crossroads of realities. Thomas's mind reeled as he tried to process the implications. A crossroads of realities? He echoed, his voice barely above a whisper. The Guardian nodded, its eyes never leaving Thomas's. Yes, Captain, the Nexus connects disparate realities, allowing for exchange. Knowledge, resources, and ideas can flow between realities, fostering growth and evolution. Thomas's gaze narrowed, his thoughts racing. What do you want from me? The Guardian's smile was enigmatic. We require your assistance, Captain. Anomaly has developed in the Nexus. A rift, created by an unknown entity, threatens to destabilize the fabric of reality. We need someone with your unique perspective to help us navigate the anomaly and close the rift. Thomas's eyes locked onto the Guardian's, a calculated gamble forming in his mind. And what's in it for me? The Guardian's smile grew, its star-like eyes glinting. Oh, Captain, we can offer you the secrets of the universe, the mysteries of the cosmos laid bare before you. The choice is yours, of course. Refuse, and we will return you to your ship, none the wiser. But I think you'll find the prospect intriguing. Thomas's heart raced, his mind whirling with the possibilities. He knew that he was taking a gamble, but the allure of the unknown was too great to resist. "All right," he said, his voice firm. "I'm in. Let's close that rift."